His cousin's company, J&J, is he so often clueless about what's happening? Jules Vasquez looks back at his record of retreat from major.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, ensuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, ensuring you from life's unexpected.
Cada conexión es más que solo una señal, es un estudiante abriendo las puertas a su futuro a través de la educación digital. Una mente joven atreviéndose a soñar en grande. Nuestra cultura compartida con el mundo en tiempo real. Y héroes cotidianos respondiendo al llamado del deber cívico. Cuando nos conectamos con Digi, empoderamos a Belice.
Belizeans, how much more will we tolerate? How many more scandals? How many more millions? How many more excuses while ordinary families struggle to make ends meet? This is your money, your hard-earned tax dollars, money meant to improve your lives, not to enrich the well-connected.
Join the United Democratic Party on Friday, July 10th at 9 a.m. as we protest march from the UDP headquarters to Battlefield Park. Enough is enough. The time to act is now. The time to save our country is before we lose it.
You're up.
These charter remains aren't
We're navigating along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Shireen Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Adar Craft.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time. They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Tonight, more is known about the intrigues around politically connected companies and their supply lines into the Ministry of Defense. We're looking at the top providers for BDF rations between 2020 and 2025. And the number 2 company, J&J Imports, has a direct familial connection to PUP Orange Walk North Rep Ramon Munchie Cervantes. But today he denied any involvement in their business.
That was his personal decision. I haven't spoken to him, so it's his decision to make.
And what's your relation to Enrique and Jamir Kenya from G&J Imports?
Enrique.
Requena.
I know Jamir Rekenya. He's my second cousin. He's the son of my cousin.
Were you instrumental in them receiving any contracts with the Ministry of Defense?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have nothing to do with it.
So you had no involvement in them getting the supply arrangement. They're the owners of J&J Imports.
No, I had no involvement in that anyone at all.
Did they supply your constituents with pantry or any grocery bags?
No, they don't.
Did you speak to Minister Marin to give them a boost with the supply?
No, I didn't speak to him.
J&J Imports was registered on May 3rd, 2022 by your relatives, the Rekenyas. Was the company established to benefit the BDF supply?
I don't know.
We are told that you are being considered to be assigned the defense portfolio, but the Prime Minister decided against it because of your connection to J&J Imports, which is a top supplier to the BDF. Is this true?
I don't know if I was being considered, and I have no connection with J&J.
And while Cervantes is clueless about J&J, Jules Vasquez found an interesting pattern when looking at top 4 companies supplying the BDF. All of them were registered after the PUP was elected in 2020. Here's his latest investigative report.
J&J Food Imports, A&Y Fresh Vegetables, and the Cocoa Can Company. They were the top 3 suppliers of rations to the BDF in 2023 to 2024. But were these companies simply set up to cream off the BDF supply chain? J&J Imports was registered in May of 2022. A&Y Fresh Vegetables registered in April of 2021. And Cocoa Can, with its direct links to the Minister of Defense, established 17th March 2021. All of them within the PUP's first term. And of course, trailing at a distant fourth, the supplier MP Farms, owned by Stanley Mira, according to this, established September of 2023. So were these companies simply set up to profit off their proximity to ministerial power? This Minister of State says no.
In relation to Enrique and Jamir Kenya from J&J Imports.
Enrique. I know Jamir Rekenya. He's my second cousin. He's the son of my cousin.
Were you instrumental in them receiving any contracts with the Ministry of Defense?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have nothing to do with it.
So you had no involvement in them getting the supply arrangement. They're the owners of J&J Imports.
No, I had no involvement in that anyone at all.
Did you speak to Minister Marin to give them a boost with the supply?
No, I didn't speak to him.
J&J Imports was registered on May 3rd, 2022 by your relatives, the Rekenyas. Was the company established to benefit the BDF supply?
I don't know.
We are told that you are being considered to be assigned the defense portfolio, but the Prime Minister decided against it because of your connection to J&J Imports, which is a top supplier to the BDF. Is this true?
I don't know if I was being considered, and I have no connection with J&J.
And while Minister Munchie says he had no connection, J&J was certainly in the fast track. Screenshots we have received show only a fraction of the payments made to the company and its owner, Enrique Rekenya. We have only 195 records out of almost 1,500 in the smart stream. The total volume traded in the screenshots we have received is $1.4 million. But again, this is only about an eighth of the total records available. So it's a fair projection that the total recorded is well over $10 million in revenue from government business. But even this small sample shows the same pattern. Almost all the payments, 98% in this group, under $10,000. The highest total payout amount was on October 12, 2022, $99,300.93 across 5 transactions. On July 21st, 2022, there was the highest transaction count, 13 back-to-back transactions totaling $86,374.21. And we know that in 2023-2024, J&J was the second largest supplier to the BDF with 24% of the pie. The paperwork shows they were averaging revenue of more than $250,000 every month, translating to $3.02 million in annual earnings from the government. This large take comes out of an overall BDF budget that expanded rapidly, ballooning from $9.1 million in the previous year to $12.4 million. The question is, what drove it to balloon in 2023-2024? Was it to provide public pork to preferred companies, or was it for soldiers to dine on conch and lobster? The tender shows that the BDF supplies included baby back ribs, conch, fish fillet, lobster, and shrimp. Whether soldiers got to eat all that is another question.
We note that another top supplier, Mira's Fresh Fruits and Veggies, was registered in April of 2022. And today, in response to the public dismay over the revelations, the Prime Minister today, kind of out of the blue, he posted the following on all his social platforms. Quote, "We have a compact with the Belizean people that we will be different. We're going to do a thorough investigation. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and if there is any wrongdoing, people will have to answer," end quote. And while the PM vows to take stern action, his minister and ministers of state are just keeping their heads low because big shots are being fired. Here's how Minister of State Cervantes meekly puts it today.
Well, as far as I know, the Prime Minister has ordered an audit of the ministry and those same transactions you're talking about. So I think that is a step in the right direction to get a clear and true picture of what transpired.
Cervantes' backbencher colleagues, Osman Martinez, has a unique perspective, though. As a former CEO from 2020 to 2024, he was an accounting officer, and many of them know about another standard procurement practice that hasn't been heavily reported on. That is the one keeping contracts under the $50,000 threshold so that they don't have to go to the contractor general. It's widespread, but in 2025, we came across a few of these that were signed by Osman Martinez when he was CEO in 2024. They were for a popular contractor from his future constituency. We asked Martinez about those contracts, but he said, "We need to be careful."
We have seen that you've issued a number of contracts to contractors which are just under the 50K threshold. Were you trying to avoid scrutiny of the contractor general by creating multiple contracts under 50K?
Who, me?
Yes.
When? So
None have been issued.
not from me.
Under 50. Well, your ministry.
No. We don't give contracts like that unless it's a one contract that has to deal with it. But I think you have to be careful with that question. Do your background check the right way because we don't promote that kind of practice.
At least 3 of those contracts hovering near the $50,000 threshold and made out to the same contractor were provided to us by the Ministry of Finance based on a Freedom of Information request. And yesterday, Minister Orlando Habet is responding to the allegation that one of his ministry's most senior technical officers was extorting a forester. He said, "Sometimes a minister just doesn't know what's happening until after the fact."
Many times we do not become aware of certain situations until after the fact. We have a very large ministry, maybe one of the largest ministries. And so I would get reports and updates on the status of certain situations, post what is happening. I cannot be on every application for whether it is the Forest Department or the Department of Environment or the National Biodiversity Office or the Sustainable Development Unit, which is large. And so we work together. We have meetings on a bi-weekly basis with all the heads of department, and that's where most of the information comes to us and how we discuss the programs that will follow the policy direction that we have set in place to move forward.
And Wahabed says he often does not have specific knowledge of the goings-on within his ministry. The Prime Minister is on another level, for sure. It's a tough task to be across so many things all at once, but hey, that's the job. And we've observed that even when, or maybe especially when, an issue has flared out into a mini-scandal, well, the PM seems particularly clueless. Jules Vasquez looked back at his record of I don't knows.
Over the years, we have tried and pressed the Prime Minister many times, but we've been noticing a consistent pattern in his responses.
I was unaware of what was happening. No, I am not aware of it. I just heard about it.
And that is that he never seems to know what's happening.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. That has not been brought up to my attention. I wasn't even aware. I had absolutely no idea. I was not aware of it. I have absolutely no idea about what you're talking about. And I'm hearing this for the first time. I had no knowledge of it, and that has been said by everyone. I was not aware that Guatemala was saying.
Breaking news from Melchor.
No, I don't know anything about it. I have no idea what you're talking about, Polo. And that has not come to my attention. And I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea what was going on. Well, that has just been brought to my attention. That was just brought up to my attention yesterday. But the definitive agreement, and I have not seen it. Obviously, it is going to be binding. No, I was not aware, and those things don't come to me.
Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not aware of it. Nothing has come to me at this point. I wasn't even aware. It's already up for action. Had I known, I'd have probably given advice. Well, obviously, that just came to light to us. I had no idea of this going on. I was unaware that he was arrested. I've not heard about that. I didn't even know that. I found it just like you when it became public. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, more than what you have in the news. I've never met this gentleman. I've never spoken to him. I'm not aware of that that 2004 agreement. I certainly was unaware of that.
And while the PM often doesn't know what's happening in his own government, he knows where to look for answers. That's usually Channel 7.
You're giving me news. I have no idea what you're talking about. I just somebody sent me a interview that you did. I was like floored. Well, you're giving me news. I'm not aware of it. I don't know. You're giving me news. Well, I know nothing about the letter. I just read about it this morning on the news.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you about the big change in the police department's response to gang mediation and social violence. And has your light bill spiked crazy high? That's everyone right now. We asked the BEL chairman what's causing it. Don't go away.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del Mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el Mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el Mundial, Vívelo con Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coast.
This morning, the 2023.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Shireen Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight.
We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Drop it like it's hot.
Maria's was planned to open in 2020, and that's when COVID came. I thought the dream was dead. People would come to my house, they would purchase the coffees from there. That gave me the little confidence, like, okay, I could do this. Atlantic Bank, of course, helped me take the next step. Once I had their support, it was smooth sailing from there. This business is my life. It's literally what provides my family with food and employment. I employ 3 family members, so it's really everything for us.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sun Up on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The Police Senior Command has announced a major change in how it interfaces with gangs in response to social violence. The Office of the Commissioner sent a message this morning announcing that a new unit named the Violence Prevention and Enforcement Team has been formed. It will subsume the Special Patrol Unit but be established as a separate national unit under the command of ASP Rodney Jones. It will be responsible for, quote, the coordinated management of high-risk offenders through targeted monitoring, preventative patrol, proactive engagement, and focused enforcement operations. ASP Jones will be answerable to Senior Superintendent Christopher Noble, who is being assigned overall supervisory responsibility for the Leadership Intelligence Unit, the GI3, and this newly established team. The Police Command says this will integrate 3 complementary pillars of our gang violence reduction strategy. A police message adds the integration of these 3 units under a single command will strengthen operational coordination, improve information sharing, eliminate duplication of efforts, and ensure a more effective response to gang violence and other serious criminal threats. The changes represent a major shift in the approach to tackling violent crime and gang mediation. Noble is one of the pioneers of community policing. A BDF soldier, 31-year-old Mark Anthony Nalberto, was convicted of 2 counts of rape against a 17-year-old girl following a closed-door trial before Justice Candice Nanton. With the most damning evidence coming from graphic video footage that Nalberto recorded on his phone showing him assaulting the victim and forcing her to perform sexual acts while verbally threatening her. Although Nalberto maintained under oath that all encounters were consensual, the prosecution, led by Joseph Perez, successfully introduced the video evidence that directly contradicted his defense, resulting in guilty verdicts on the major counts. The victim was 19 when she testified in May. And with his bail now revoked, Nalberto has been remanded to the Belize Central Prison pending sentencing scheduled for July 24, 2026. After Justice Nanton ordered social inquiry, victim impact, anecdotal history, and Colby Foundation reports to inform the final punishment. If, like everyone else, you've been struggling to keep up with sharp increases in your electricity bill, well, you'd better brace. The Public Utilities Commission has approved a new billing mechanism for BEL called COPA. While BEL frames it as a move toward transparency, what it actually means is that fluctuations in the cost of imported power will now be passed directly and automatically onto your monthly light bill. But according to the PUC's official public notice, the regulator denied BEL's request to independently implement those automatic monthly adjustments. By law, the Commission notes only the PUC can approve rate changes. So instead of giving BEL a blank check, the PUC is launching a regulatory sandbox. What does that mean for you? It means that the automatic aspect is on ice. BEL cannot change your bill on a whim. Throughout this trial period, BEL must submit a detailed operational and financial breakdown to the regulator every single month. If the data doesn't back it up, the PUC won't approve the adjustment. Today, BEL Chairman Lin Young explained what it could mean for consumers' monthly bills.
So what the suggestion was to try to smoothen the effect on customers rather than wait a year or two and then having to adjust the rates by 6 cents or 5 cents or whatever. And so it's going to be on a monthly basis that we'll take a 6-month average of the cost of power and compare it to what is in the rates. And let's say at the rolling 6 months for the last 6 months was 32 cents per kilowatt hour. Then that's 2 cents per kilowatt hour more than what's built into the rates. But this mechanism is going to limit it at 1.5 cents. The adjustment either way, right? So then the customer would get an extra 1.5 cents as a cost of power adjustment on the bill. As I was explaining, most of the customers, about 70% of our customers are residential customers that burn about $200 per month. So a customer like that would probably see something like maybe a $5 adjustment to the bill if it was a full 1.5 cents. If it could be less. The last year, the company had some struggles trying to pay CFE, and there were times when CFE actually said, listen, if you don't come up with money, we're going to have to disconnect you. So we can't continue to put the country's electricity supply at risk, right? So we have to try to put things in place to make sure that we eliminate that risk as much as we can.
We know that the adjustment is capped at approximately 1.5 cents per kilowatt hour, but under what circumstances would consumers experience the maximum increase?
That's a hard question because it all depends on the cost of power, especially as it's driven by the cost from Mexico. Like I said, sometimes we are getting like $1 US per kilowatt hour for power from Mexico. And then sometimes it drops down to 5 cents. I think, as we explained, we are doing things to try to manage that, like trying to get batteries online, trying to get more solar online, to try to be in a position where we don't have to buy expensive power.
While the Public Utilities Commission rejected BEL's request to independently implement the adjustment, the company says it supports the regulatory's decision to first test the mechanism through a regulatory sandbox.
To be honest, we respect the PUC's approach and decision. All of us have a role, and I understand what they're saying. It's a way to monitor this thing and to try to, because under the law, if they had passed a law, it would be rigid. In the sandbox environment, they can make changes as they go along. So if they find that what we've put in place can be tweaked, then they can tweak it. So from that point of view, we welcome it. I say, again, maybe I'm a little too frank, but for a utility, to get financing, to get loans, etc., you have to have a certain amount of regulatory certainty to show the banks and the lenders and the shareholders that, listen, the company is going to be able to service its debt obligations. Right? And the PUC is aware of that. So I think going forward, we'll be in a good position.
So does this new mechanism increase BEL's profitability?
No, because BEL is not allowed to make profit on the cost of power. So again, the way it is structured, the value added of delivery, that 14 cents is where BEL makes its profit. If BEL wants to make profit, it has to manage its cost. We have to reduce our costs in terms of delivering the power to customers. But accounting-wise, we account for it, and it shows as a loss on our financials. But strictly speaking, like I said, the $60 million in excess cost of power that the company paid last year, they didn't recover. The PUC, in its decision, has shown that there's like about a $75 million that's owed to the company, that over the future, as cost of power goes down, hopefully the company will see that return to it.
But BEL is not flush with cash, having substantial and sustained losses of up to 23 million in the past year. Young says that was caused by the fluctuating cost of power.
The company did its best to try not to have to ask for a rate increase over the last few years. There were things that nobody could have anticipated. Like we said, the war with Ukraine, the war in Iran, the problems with shipping, tariffs, a lot of things kept piling on that you reached a point where now we have to address it, right? But the lights are on, the company is delivering power, and even though people complain about blackouts here and there, right, you got to give somebody some credit to keeping the rates at 44 cents for over 40 years and for increasing the reliability of the system to where it is today. And in all of that year, there were some missteps, I agree, but there were some good steps too. Had to have happened, otherwise we wouldn't have been making the progress.
And many have complained that their electricity bills have increased. Could it be because of the newly increased smart meters? Well, according to the chairman, it has nothing to do with the meters or any scheme to gouge consumers. He says it is simply because of the increase in energy being used in warm months.
All the complaints that we have gotten and we looked at, to start off with, is that May was the hottest period in the year, and every year we looked at the numbers and we could show you the graphs, etc. Every year we get a lot of high bill complaints because of the heat. Electricity use in Belize is driven a lot by heat. So your refrigerator is going to work harder, your fans are going to work harder, your AC units are going to work harder. And then on top of that, what happened to some customers we found is that there's a threshold of $100 for GST. So if your bill was normally $95, and then because of the heat, it jumped to $105, so you get an extra $10 on your bill because of the higher usage. But then you jump the threshold now and you get a 12.5% GST on that whole $105 too, which adds to it, right? There were also, that happens often in the industry, is that sometimes the meter reader goes to read a meter and cannot access the meter because of some issues or whatever, and they do an estimate billing. And sometimes that causes some disruption, variations. So if you get an estimate billing, say in February, like February, March, April, were very cool months. If you get an estimate based on those months and then May comes in high, then when the real bill comes in, you get a drop, right? And it tends to hit you hard. So then look, compared to the previous months, it looks kind of high. I'm just saying that all we can do is look at the data. We've investigated every instance that was brought to us, and in no case have we found that it was as a result of these new meters, right? And the meters are tested, and we have the test results for them. So, I'm pretty sure each person who has a high bill will have their own.
The Caribbean Court of Justice has ruled that Belize's company filing requirements for CARICOM-linked businesses do not violate the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. The decision came after the High Court of Belize referred a legal question involving Anwar Barrow and a raft of companies against the Financial Services Commission. The court sought clarification on whether the requirement for CARICOM companies to maintain and file documents through local registered agents breached Article 177 of the treaty. The CCJ found that Article 177 targets anti-competitive conduct by companies rather than regulatory measures imposed by governments, confirming that Belize's requirements are indeed lawful. Here's that part of the decision.
The court clarified that while in its original jurisdiction, it could not provide authoritative guidance on whether Belizean domestic legislation was breached, it was competent to interpret Article 177 of the RTC. The court therefore considered whether the requirement for CARICOM Incorporated and linked companies to maintain and file documents through local registered agents amounted to the application of unequal conditions to parties undertaking equivalent engagements in commercial transactions, thereby causing a competitive disadvantage as prohibited by Article 177 of the RTC. The court undertook a contextual interpretation of Article 177 within Chapter 8 of the RTC and establishes the community competition policy, the goal of which is to prevent anti-competitive business conduct that would frustrate the benefits of the CARICOM single market and economy. The court held that Article 177 per se is concerned with the conduct of enterprises, not regulatory measures of the state. Article 177 of the RTC does not prohibit a regulatory requirement that A, local companies with shareholders or directors from CARICOM jurisdictions, and B, companies incorporated within CARICOM countries maintain and file documents through local registered agents. Article 177 is concerned per se with the anti-competitive business conduct of enterprises and not with the regulatory measures of a member state.
The court also reaffirmed that it has exclusive jurisdiction to interpret the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas and will provide guidance when national courts seek clarification on its provisions. Has the Government and Social Security Special Purpose Vehicle run onto a rocky road? We'll tell you why there's concern, and we'll show you the recipients of this year's Digi scholarships after the break. Don't go away.
Please, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, the Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on Earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. From rest to adventure. From nature to culture. From luxury to freedom. Every vacation imaginable, except snow. And we plan to keep it that way. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
If you're tired of the baking in your house with daily cocoa wawa fan and finally realize that the time to get yourself a good, durable, reliable fan, contact Myers Panel website or social media. Myers going to hook you up with one of their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan where could even change your life as they keep you cool in this hot Belizean weather. Yes man, because their 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers not just could blow your lip back way, they might could blow away your mind if you say blow away the toxic konomono out of your life and the bad vibes out of your house. Order your 18-inch heavy-duty tripod fan from Myers website or on their social media, and Myers going to ship out your fan anywhere countrywide ASAP. Not believe me? Visit myerselectronics.bz right now to order your fan today.
People don't travel with cash anymore. People would stop and they want to do a coffee tour, they want to buy coffee, but people don't have cash with them. Online banking facilitated a lot of what we do. I don't have to run to town and I have to use fuel and other expenses. Atlantic Bank actually approached us. They facilitated us with a bank account, which is something that within hand, in hand, and then with a POS machine. I sit and sip my good cup of coffee and do payments.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Are you looking for financing on equipment, machinery, vehicles, parts, or tools for you or your business? Banquip and Belize Bank have partnered to make purchasing easier than ever with Belize Bank's convenient online loan application platform. Simply apply online, get fast and secure financing, and access the equipment or vehicle you need to keep moving forward. Even better, use the promo code when applying and enjoy a special promotional interest rate exclusively for Banquip customers. Whether you're upgrading your fleet, investing in new machinery, or purchasing essential parts and equipment, now is the perfect time to make it happen. Visit Banquip today and ask about Belize Bank online loan financing.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7. Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Digi held its annual scholarship awards ceremony this morning, distributing a total of 47 scholarships to both high school and sixth form students from all across Belize. It is the largest number of scholarships they have awarded, and Jo Marie Lanza found out why they chose to do so.
It's a proud moment for students and parents alike at Digi's 35th Scholarship Awards ceremony. These students will have the opportunity to begin the school year without the looming burden of school fees. And for Digi, this year's scholarships are a bit more special compared to previous years. Their CEO told us why.
Well, it's even more special because at the end of the day, this is the first year that we have been able to now offer tertiary scholarships. And also what we have been focused on is, as Digi continues to transform, going from telco to techco, is something that all the scholarship recipients on the SGS, well, for the sixth form side, they are all STEM. Because we know that as a technology company, we need to begin promoting that. So it's very special for us. I mean, 35 years is a milestone. So certainly we're very proud of continuing to ensure that we are building our future leaders of Belize.
Digi distributed a total of 57 scholarships to students, 40 of them to high schoolers and 17 to sixth formers. Tessicum says the most difficult part of the process is selecting the awardees, and this year they received up to 200 applications.
So the requirements are, of course, that there are different criteria. As a matter of fact, we kind of loosen up the criteria. There's a certain threshold for income because we're trying to help the folks who really need it. And then from there, they also have to then do an application as to why they deserve it. So they have to write their own little story as to why they are deserving. And then the scholarship committee that is made up of Digi employees then go through the criteria, interview all of them. So it's a very long process. And from them, they have the very, very hard choice of having to decide who gets the scholarship. So, you know, when you listen to them, they say some of them, it's really tough decisions that got to be made. And hopefully next year we continue to grow. First, we used to have only 25 scholarships per year. Then we grew it to 35, then to 41, and now this year is 57. So next year we hope to get it to about 75. But it's a lot of work because, you know, you got to go through the scholarships and we got to maintain. Because one of the things that we do, we don't only offer them the scholarships, but we also work with them throughout all these 4 years because you got first farm, second farm, third. So we try to help them along the way too. Try to create programs where we are able to mentor them, try to encourage them because, you know, there are little challenges as you go through high school. So it's a partnership.
And we spoke to two of the scholarship recipients, both who shared similar career interest in the construction industry.
The school that I am going to is St. John's High School.
And how did you feel when you found out you won the scholarship?
I felt very excited and overwhelmed.
What do you hope to be in the future?
I want to be a construction worker.
I will be attending Belmopan Methodist High School in Belmopan.
Have you decided what you'll study when you hit third farm?
Well, I have some options, but I haven't decided as yet. So I'll probably take science or business.
Do you know what you want to be in the future?
I would like to be an architect.
Jo Marie Lanza, 7 News.
We also got to ask CEO Tessicum about government's and Social Security's public-private partnership. That's the $54.5 million construction of the public administration campus on Chetamel Street Boulevard being executed through what is called a special purpose vehicle, SPV, named Public Administration Campus 1 Limited. But reports say government, which is the minority, has gone ahead and appointed Troy Gabb as general manager without consulting their Social Security partners. And at least one of the members of the board also happened to resign. That's Tessicum, who told us his hands are just too full.
Were you a part of any special purpose vehicle that was developed by the government and according to them you've resigned from certain special purpose vehicle?
I was a member of one for the, I believe it's for the Social Security Board, being the finance individual. But yes, afterwards I resigned from it as well.
Why was that reason?
Just personal. I don't have time. I'm running Digi at the end of the day, and that's my focus. My focus is to ensure that I continue to create value for the great shareholders of Belize, because each and every one of us who are here, all of you who are interviewing me, are shareholders of that. Because when we make a profit and we are able to declare dividends, that goes back through the government of Belize, through the Social Security Board, through the central bank, and through the 1,500 plus shareholders. So my focus was ensuring that Digi continues to grow, that we continue with our mandate to ensure that we transform our country and continue to lead in digital transformation. So I have to focus.
Adolfo Garcia Alvarez and Santos Eduardo Lopez Zepeda had both spent over 5 years on remand for the murder of 59-year-old Rosa Chinchilla. Today, Angel Alvarez walked free from his trial for murder following a nolle prosequi after the only evidence linking him to the murder was ruled inadmissible. That piece of evidence was a caution statement given to the police. Justice Nigel Pilgrim, that is, was also not convinced that Santos Zepeda was guilty of the murder of Chinchilla, and so Justice Pilgrim upheld a no case submission made by Zepeda's attorney, Erin Kiras. Zepeda was then acquitted of the murder of Chinchilla. Next week, Friday, July 10th, the UDP will be hosting a protest in the city to rally against the government. Today, we asked the NTUCB if they will be joining. As one would recall, they joined the last protest against the smart acquisition. But President Ella Wade says they try to stay away from political rallies.
We have begun a conversation with our General Counsel. As everyone is aware, that is how we make decisions. It would not be my decision. It has to be a democratic process throughout the General Counsel. The conversation has started. I think, of course, we've always tried our very best to avoid political. We would not want to support any political party, but the concept of what we or the issue that we're facing right in this country, yes, we would definitely want to ensure that we support. So we are looking at maybe not fully going and gathering in front of our political office, but definitely having representation at the rally.
The quality and cost of military boots purchased by the BDF, for the BDF that is, and the Coast Guard have been much in the news this week. We have certainly received reports that at times soldiers and guardsmen have been given dry, rotten, and substandard boots. Yesterday, when we spoke with the BDF commander, he did not elaborate, other than to say, all is well.
Well, what I can tell you, that my purview is that we get boots. And over the past few years, our policymakers has placed a lot of interest and attention on the BDF. And today we're in a far different place than we were a few years ago. So our soldiers are kitted. They have their boots. We did a recruit intake last year. We're doing one now. We'll do one immediately after this, and we'll do another one next year. So we are increasing the size of the force. We are recruiting, and we're getting the kit and equipment for our soldiers. Gone were the days back then when we did not have boots to equip our soldiers. We do have boots, and we have equipment for them.
And we have also received credible reports that the BDF and Coast Guard have in the past received substandard weapons. But against the commander says, again, that should be, but again, the commander says all is well on the Western Front.
The BDF headquarters, we do not do procurement, okay? That's handled at the ministry level. If that happened, then I don't know about it. Should we receive any substandard weapons, then we will be sure to make our policymakers know. We have received quality weapons, what we asked for. We asked for the best weapons available for our soldiers, and we have received those. Just the other day, the government had bought for us about 340 quality weapons that we need and that our soldiers deserve, and they are training with those weapons and using those weapons on operations as we speak.
Okay, and lastly, can you speak about the Taurus rifles that were obtained for the BDF at one point? Are any of them still in service?
Yes, those rifles were obtained for the BDF and they're in service and they are being used by our soldiers.
And with that, we close this Friday night's newscast with footage of the high school Super Nationals crowning ceremony, which took place this afternoon at the Civic. It celebrates Belize's best high schools athletes. Do enjoy. Join me back here on Monday. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.